I want to talk to you a little bit about what could possibly be in our future, and I don't think there's really much speculation on this, but I want you to know the attacks are going to come fast and furious from the left. Some of them will be deserved if you take this and you go down a tinfoil hat road. I mean, you don't need to go to the Bilderbergers. I mean, it's as useful as going to the Whataburgers. You don't have to do that. But like every time, we will use their words to prove a point. But progressives will go nuts when they hear the term global governance. If they hear it used, they'll tell you you're crazy. Here's an example from a left-wing blog. Seriously, for a moment, they write, we're going to have to address the paranoia about global takeover at some point, probably in easy-to-comprehend Dick and Jane language for the Tea Party. Well, that's good. But apparently this blogger, while sitting in his underpants in his parents' basement, failed to notice that Gustav Speth, he is the former head of the World's Resource Institute, an institute that Al Gore is part of, said back in 1997 this: global governance is here to stay, and driven by economic and environmental globalization, global governance will inevitably expand. Oh, well, if that's all it is. A UN development report in 1999, UN wrote, this is important, governance is not government. It is the framework of rules, institutions, and practices that set limits on behavior of individuals, organizations, and companies. Oh, well, if it's only setting limits on you, but it's not a government, oh, I'm fine with it. That's all this is framework. Framework. It's not government. It's important for them to say those things. All of these financial regulations that are being put into place, it's bogus, and it leads to this. The bailouts, bogus, it leads to this. Climate change leads to this. It is a framework for global governance. Europe says they want it. We'll show you what they said in a minute. The IMF is implementing it in Europe. They're telling now sovereign nations what to do right now. But we're not moving towards it here in the U.S., are we? Well, let me show you what the UN said about land use. Private land ownership is also a principal instrument of accumulation and concentration of wealth, therefore contributes to social injustice. If unchecked, it may become a major obstacle in the planning and implementation of development schemes. Wow. Hey, on a completely unrelated note, have you noticed what our government has been doing? Fannie and Freddie already back 96% of U.S. residential mortgages. They will own or guarantee $5.5 trillion in mortgage debt. That is half of the current market. Plus, the federal government already owns 30% of land in America. They have plans now to seize another 10 million acres just this year from Montana to New Mexico. Land can be a problem, you know. And by the way, they're only doing this. They're only doing this for new monuments they want to build. That doesn't seem reasonable, does it? I'm not going to tell you more about it. I'm going to let them tell you in easy-to-comprehend Dick and Jane language next.